nickname is the Valley Isle, the island of Maui. That particular island happens to house the largest dormant volcano crater on Earth, a place known as Haleakala. To Americans, it should sound familiar. After all, this is where our country conducted the Star Wars experiments, and you can bet someday it'll affect everybody sitting in this room. If not us, definitely our children. Off the coast of Maui, that little rock you see along the southeast point, it looks like it's connected. It isn't. It is called Kaho'olawe. In the past, when someone invited you to the island, you wouldn't have gone. You see, that is what the military used to use as a bombing range. That's where we sent our relatives who were visiting to stay. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 20 years, there is a segment of Hawaii government which has been trying to get that island returned back to the people of Hawaii. It is called OHA. You will hear more of it in Congress. It stands for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs. A little over 60 days ago, the President of the United States of America, Mr. Bush, signed a declaration halting all bombing of Kaho'olawe. We believe, ladies and gentlemen, that this island is in the process of being returned back to the Hawaiians. North of Kaho'olawe was once the pineapple capital of the world, owned by Castle and Cook and Dole Pineapple Company. It is the island of Lanai. Those pineapples you're sharing here this morning, I hope you enjoyed them. They came from that island. But 9 months ago, Castle and Cook announced they will stop all pineapple growing on that island. Their plan is to turn the entire island into a resort. Guess what we need? North of Lanai is the island known as Molokai. There is a peninsula on that island, which was made famous throughout the world by a gentleman by the name of Father Damien. You old-timers in this room here should relate to this a whole lot better than I. This is where Damien set up his leprosy colony, or his Hansen disease settlement, and the rest of the world did not want these people. How am I familiar with it? You see, my grandmother was one of those Hawaiians who also attained leprosy in the early years. For the past 57 years, she spent her life there. In a holiday season like this, she's with us here. But do you all know there was a time when these islands did not even have the common culture? I guess then it was a true paradise, huh? North of that, ladies and gentlemen, is the island you're presently on. It is the capital of the entire state, but yet it is only the third largest in size. It is called Oahu. Translate to English, it means the gathering place. And for your information, this rock you're sitting on right now houses over 80% of the state's entire population. That being approximately 1.2 million people, folks. Does live up to its name, huh? North of us is the oldest island we have in Hawaii today. It is pronounced Kauai, just like the cow's eye. It's nicknamed the Garden Island. That particular island happens to house the wettest spot on Earth. It is a mountain known as Mount Waialeale, featured in National Geographic, pointed on for the very first time. Papawan helicopters will literally fly you into this natural phenomenon. Imagine, for those of you here who still can, a mountain shaped like a volcanic cone with a crack down the center. These choppers will fly you in the crack inside this volcano. You will scale upwards where you'll see hundreds of waterfalls pour down into this place. I know, it might not interest you now. When this world starts to dry up, that's become a very popular place. As you have shortly heard, these little islands in the Pacific does have something quite unique to offer, not only the continent of America, but if you're listening, literally the entire world. But I'd like you to know, you see the little island clear at the end? The last one there? From all the islands back, the most unique. It is called Ikihaui. Population, 200. What makes it special is that you need to be pure Hawaiian and personally invited by the Robinson family just to land. the weather depends on the response of alofas that we get from our visitors. Me, I live out in the country. And away over the mountains this morning, I see some thick black clouds hanging on the courthouse. By the amount of people sitting in this room and by that first response, take up the weather. You want to try that one? I'll tell you what, just call me Cousin Norm, okay, man? In fact, my adopted name is area is called Cut in 20. Tell me, if I went to your hometown, isn't it wise to invest in some good times, show me around, and then venture off on my own? That is what the Grand Circle Island was designed to do, not to turn anybody around my cattle, but literally give the visitor an insight on more than just the beauty of the native sons that make up this land today. The program will show you those lush green valleys. In fact, even when we got snow-capped mountains, we have flowers in bloom all year round. And by the way, while you're in our home, could you please get into some of our traditions? Example, the wearing of those flower lace. I know, it's this morning, first thing I noticed, nobody chose to wear the flower lace that you got at the airport here today. Oh, you did? I'm sorry, ma'am, I didn't see it. Thank you for agreeing so. Yes. Perhaps the rest of you think we should discontinue that upon arrival here? Do you? No? Tell me, you people have been here before. Anybody here know what the significance of these flowers? Okay. Anybody care? I sense we have some honeymooners here this morning. How many honeymoon couples we have sitting in the room? Oh, yeah? No, I knew you were here. I could feel a heat from up here. I just didn't know where you were. You know, congratulations. And before I go on, I'd like to thank you very much for sharing a very special portion of your life with us here in Zion. I mean, God knows you could have gone anywhere. Gentlemen, you take up on this. At the beginning of your year, you present your bride with a fresh flower lei. Find a blossom she likes best. This is tradition. A flower lei represents a circle of love. A circle. Not known in the beginning, the day of the moment that love all started. No beginning, therefore having no end. Every petal and every blossom represents little kisses of aloha. And the sweeter the blossom, the sweeter the kisses. I suggest a blossom called Kentucky. It's a quarter inch in size that will set your tongue for the next week and a half. Tradition, ladies and gentlemen, is alive in the United States. The Grand Circle Island Tour will show you what ABC's Flower River Sports call the most dangerous beach in the world. Anybody ever told you the majority of the people who drown in our waters is not the people who live here, but our servicemen and our visitors? Tourists standing on the shoreline taking pictures of these waves mid swept into the ocean. You see, you might be a strong swimmer at home, but only unfamiliar with the other blue currents that surround the island chain. Quite frankly, just use some common sense. You will see orange signs with white letters on it to put on the State's Parks Department. The program will allow you to experience the South Pacific country lifestyle of us people who live here. I told you I live out in the country. I live off the point of that peninsula you're looking at. Beautiful, isn't it? It's called Kuoloa. The island off the coast is known as Pakipapali. You people have been here before. You know you can walk out to that island low tide? Walk. Translate to English, it means a Chinese path. Look at it closely, present it. This program is designed to show you places visitors have never seen where the monks go as a retreat up against the Ko'olau. It includes all admission fees into our SeaWorld. The area is known as Makapu'u. And as far as your Grand Circle Island tour is concerned, cross out the flights up on the top. We're deducting that at a $5 discount, mainly because the Waimea Falls Park is still under construction, fixing it from that flood we had a month and a half ago. They closed the park down, so deduct $5 from the price you see the Grand Circle Island tour. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're into whale watching, this is the place to hang out for a day, the Makapu'u. On a clear day, you can even see Molokai and Lanai from this point of the island. If you're into marine life, this was definitely the most popular snorkeling island, snorkeling spot in the state. It is called Honolulu Bay. It is an extinct volcano. Well, that's what they say. That's what they said about Mount St. Helens too, did they not? Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, this place has become so popular. The City Council of Honolulu has now banned the opening of Honolulu Bay every Wednesday morning, even to the local people. How does it affect me? Well, as the youngest of my family and myself can't visit this area. We use this as a fishing ground. Today, it is banned to the local people. 7 days a week, they regulate the amount of visitors that's allowed to that place, even the local people. The government here finally figured out this place This one, remember where you're staying? Waikiki. But you're looking at the glimpse of the capital, Honolulu. It's fast becoming the 8th largest city in the United States of America. They're going to show you this. If you take pictures of it, who knows when they're going to knock this down and put a hotel or condominium in its place. Do you know, or were you ever told, we're the only state in America that actually did have a kingdom? 97 years ago, that's all. There's a new ego in that. My last ruling queen was named Emil Pokalani. She was kept as a prisoner within the palace until she died during the fulfillment of our kingdom. What was the kingdom look like? Anybody know? It was the very people the Hawaiians first opened their homes to, ladies and gentlemen. Learn something about our people. I believe in freedom. We're more than just Waikiki. This is the Pearl Harbor cruise. It's another way to go ahead and see Pearl. The younger people prefer this. It's a 3.5-hour ocean cruise, 18 miles along the west shore. The difference is this, though. The cruise will not board the Arizona, nor will it give you the capital city tour. The younger people like it because of the open deck. They literally invite you to bring your sunwear. Know the difference between the programs. Choose one or the other. Personally, I do not suggest you both of them. They overlap each other. State's #1 attraction? PCK, Polynesian Cultural Center. Not seeing our cultural center is like going to Florida, not seeing Epcot Center. How many of you have ever been to Epcot before? You have? Oh, quite a few of us. Interesting place, huh? I was there last year. The place made me believe youth is a matter of spirit. Felt like a 10-year-old kid. I like to suggest when you get to our cultural center, get into a canoe, just like the one you're looking at, have a guide paddle you through the different villages. It's all included. And then go to the villages and participate in forms of arts and crafts of our heritage. Keep in mind, this is not Disneyland. We use this to teach our children about their heritage, Polynesian. Even this, ever want to learn to climb a coconut tree? Believe it or not, we got a tour guide to teach you how to do that too. I suggest your medical insurance be paid in full before you try this. International buffet meal, all you can eat. And then, like our friend said this morning, the IMAX theater that opened up a couple of weeks ago is also included in our package. You hold confirmed seats for their evening production, which is definitely the climax of the Cultural Center itself. Ladies and gentlemen, confirmed seats means you don't get the seats that are left over from those hundred tour companies in Waikiki. It means you don't get the seats like the walk-in traffic queue at the gate. You know, though, if you drove yourself to the Cultural Center, they would charge only $39.95 per slap on a tax. When we pay on Plesant, it comes up about $42, $43. Do some subtracting, folks. You'll find out Plesant is charging you almost $12 more. For what? $6 each way for transportation. A deluxe air-conditioned motor coach will pick you up at your hotel and give you a guided tour 47 miles out of Waikiki. I am not talking about sitting on an overcrowded city bus 2.5 hours one way. When everything is over at 10 o'clock at night, relieve the stress of you trying to find your Waikiki hotel in the dark. We'll bring you back to your front door. If there's anyone actually sitting in here this morning with some thousands of miles to say $6, why? Should you leave your rental car parked in their parking lot 6 to 8 hours of daylight time, huh? Isn't that what you want in the car? I mean, wouldn't that be a waste of money? Tell me, anybody told you that our gas pumps, we have gasoline as high as $2.25 a gallon? Alone? Is that the kind of place you want to drive? I drive because I got it. What's your excuse? For those of you who want to get off the beaten trail, there's a flyer or something like this before we'll teach you how. No more than 12 to 14 people. Here's a way to get that snorkeling feeling and not get your hair wet. You need your tennis shoes? Because like the 74-year-old gentleman with the red cap, we're going to take you to the top of Mount Leahi. You remember her? Leahi? We're going to show you one spot where you can see 3/4 of the island of Oahu. In fact, this is where the Hawaiian warriors stood guard as you watched those whaling ships come into Honolulu Harbor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called Unique Island Tour. Plesant likes to call it Adventures in Paradise. Something a little different for the visitor who wants that off-the-boat type, off-the-street type of tour. Koloa Ranch properties, remember that 4,000-acre private ranch I talked about? There's a couple of flaws to this. First, we have no flowered or colored brochures about this area. Second, we have only been allowed Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays to take our clients in there. Third, they only allow us 12 people per excursion. 12. Folks, we ain't got enough room for everybody this week. It is a limited offer. I suggest, though, you take advantage of this. You see, who knows when they're going to shut the door on us, too. Ladies and gentlemen, you take a ride into Koloa Ranch properties, bring your swimsuits if you like also, because there's a second program. You can take just a horseback ride if you like. For another few dollars, though, they'll even take you down to Koloa's private white sand beach, a place accessible only by boat. They take you on a boat, fly you across the fish pond to Coral Ranches Beach. They actually own this thing. You know? I tell you, you spend a day out there, you'll understand why I love this land so much. You see, I live at the entranceway to the Valley of Kahava. How many people we got here this morning? Oh, Jesus, I should have greeted you in your native tongue this morning, huh? Buenos dias, ladies and gentlemen. This guys will actually make the corner and anchor in calmer waters for you in a place called, now, folks, the Rainbow Reef. They will supply you with all the gear necessary. If you're not a strong swimmer and you want to jump in anyway, I need to tell you, this is not a 3-foot reef. You're actually jumping into the Pacific Ocean. Go for it, though. Let one of the crew members know first. They'll hook you up to a life vest, tie a long lifeline on your legs, and then toss you overboard. For those of you looking for something a little different, fun in the sun, she's known as the Ardatian. Who knows? You might have an opportunity to see some of our prehistoric visitors, huh? Yeah. The whales. What's next? You want to go underwater in a real submarine? Californians, this is not the submarine ride you offer in Anaheim's Disneyland. I have been on that one too. This one is for real. She's 65 foot long, holds 45 passengers, certified to go 150 feet down, okay? Real sub. It's located not only here on this island of Oahu, but also on the Big Island's Kona coast. Ladies and gentlemen, atmospheric pressure throughout your dive, it's better than riding an airplane. You old timers, here's something you can do with very little, if no effort at all. But here's something you do not know. Over a year ago, they sunk an old minesweeper 100 feet deep at the edge of this island of Oahu. Their intentions, into creating an artificial reef, it's working better than they expected. Thousands of tropical fish is gathering to the spot. Scientists call this inner space the new frontier. It is for real, ladies and gentlemen. 100 feet deep? How many human beings you know that go that deep under the surface of the earth unless they're scuba divers, huh? How many of you are going to the neighbor islands for a few days? Maui, Kauai, or the Big Island of Hawaii? You people? Y'all got to rent a car on a neighbor island? Yes, if you do not have one, get one. It is a necessity. This is the island you don't need a car. On the neighbor island, you don't have wheels, you ain't going to see anything. By the way, you people who did not make plans of going to the neighbor islands, anybody ever told you you're only 20 minutes away from the island of Maui? 20. You're only 30 minutes away from the active volcanoes on the Big Island of Hawaii? You're 15 from Molokai? You're 20 from Kauai? That's 9 minutes up, 2 minutes across, 9 minutes down. You're there. Here, watch. You people going to the neighbor islands, everything we're about to show you, if you have wheels, you can see and do on your own. Watch. I suggest if you're going to be in Maui, you drive yourself into those hidden valleys. Tell me, how do you think Maui got its nickname as the Valley Isle? Anybody ever told you you could even drive yourself to the summit of Haleakala on 10,000 feet in elevation? America, this looks like the moon to you? Do you know any equipment ever put on the moon by our country, America, was first tested within this volcanic crater? The scientists believe it's the only spot on Earth that the terrain of the land quite resembles the moon. Have you read anything about our moon before you came here? You've seen a picture of this. It's called the Needle of I'a Valley. Not only can you drive yourself to those valley walls, folks, you can take your own photos just like this and not take a footstep out of your car. Here, look at this. Beautiful, isn't she? Town of Lahaina, once the whaling capital of the world. This place holds its own historical value. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, before I go any further, many of you visitors who come here and see all the Waikiki starlights enjoy or try to go ahead and take in some form of entertainment. Here in the islands, ladies and gentlemen, we have a man who has been dedicated by our governor as our ambassador of goodwill. California cousins in the house, if you listen to KLAC, you heard him on the radio program in the mornings and the evenings. You watched Hawaii 5-0, he played a part of Ben Kukua for a number of seasons on that program. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Al Harrington, the South Pacific man. Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen.
Great. Aloha! Man, you got them converted. My job this morning, ladies and gentlemen, is very simple. My job with you is to come in and thank you for coming to Hawaii. God love you. We know you could have gone to Florida, You could have gone to the Caribbean. You could have gone to Mexico. You could have gone to Disneyland. You could have gone to 1,001 other places. But you come to us, and the governor of our state, John Waihee, the first ethnic Hawaiian governor these islands have ever had, has made it clear to us that if you folks don't come to Hawaii, we who live here in big trouble. Please realize you are extremely important to our way of doing things. We live by 3 things in the islands. 1 is the business industry. That's you come visiting. 2 is the military installations. 3 is the crops of pineapples and sugar. Of these 3 things, you're the most important. You're the human element. You can make things happen. So if Norman ain't told you, I'm telling you. If he has told you, I'm going to tell you again. Please take home a 6-pack of pineapples. I'm serious. Because we who live here, we sick and tired of eating that stuff. It's like you guys in the Midwest and the damn corn, you know. Every time I'm in the Midwest, somebody's trying to sell me corn. I was just in Los Angeles and I stopped at a stop sign and this guy comes up and wants to sell me oranges. So ladies and gentlemen, take home a 6-pack of pineapples. And then, if you're going to do anything to enjoy these islands, these 2 things I promise you do, you're going to have a good time, okay? You don't have to pay for this. You just do it, okay? 1, you must make yourself slow down. You got it. Because you guys, especially if you come from the Midwest, Rocky Mountains, Northwest, and anywhere in that part of our country, because you guys crazy. I'm not sure if you've ever observed yourself. Where are you from? California, you're not so bad. You okay? How about you? Kansas City, we worry about you. See, Kansas people, this is what they do. They get up in the morning and they say to each other, let's get it done before the winter comes. You guys are seasonal by nature. You guys are always getting ready for something. Ain't the winter, spring, ain't spring, summer, ain't summer's fall, ain't some season, some flood, some tornado, thunderstorm, hurricanes, landslides, forest fires. You guys got guts to live there. Follow me close. I'm going to give you a quick lesson in Hawaiian geography. This is the basic motivation for our behavior. Hawaii's location on the globe is so special that when we revolve around the sun with you, the seasons of these islands are minimal. Minimal seasons for us. In other words, we who live here, we're not getting ready for anything. It'll come to you on the bus, don't worry about it. We've seen you folks come over here. Some of you look at us and say, these people look lazy. We're not lazy, we're just not getting ready for anything. So number 1, you've got to make yourself slow down. You've got to bring the psychic down. 2, please get to know us. We've been a part of America now since 1900. 1959 is when we became a state. You guys still don't know who the hell we are. I'm over there in Kansas City. They all thought I was Tonto, you know? They want to take me to a reservation. People come up to me and say, how? I told them I know how already. If you watch your Y50 reruns, I'm the guy who plays the part of Ben Kukua in the reruns. Steve McGarrett usually says, book 'em, Dano, book 'em Chin, or book 'em Ben. I'm Ben, I'm the 3rd booker. I always want to just look at Steve once and say, go book 'em yourself, you know? The money was so good I didn't want to take a chance. The man that's going to make a difference in your quality time in the islands obviously will become Norman Brown. Norman is born and raised in these islands, educated here, went to college over here, went to college on the mainland, and has a great knowledge of what we're all about here in the islands. And the great thing about his knowledge is he is articulate enough to get this to you, because we can be born and raised in these islands and have a great passionate love for Hawaii. But if we're not articulate enough to communicate it to the world, then we are isolated. So what we want you to do is to have the best time possible. And Norman can help you do this. So I'm going to let him do his job, and let me leave you with 3 pearls of wisdom. 1, keep smiling, because you can't go home until the plane leaves. I don't care how tough, rich, or smart you are. Ain't no way you're walking back to Kansas, baby. 2, it's no use to moan, groan, and complain, because you already spent the money. And 3 is some... I love it when the old lady goes, listen, listen. 3 is from Charles Schultz, who writes Peanuts, and he says that a hug beats the heck out of all the theology and religion in the world. Isn't that beautiful? So if you got your loved ones, you take time and hug them. Make them feel good, make yourself feel good, make the world feel good. You got nobody to hug? Don't worry, me and Norman available. He's expensive, but I'm cheap. You get what you pay for. You're scheduled to see my show sometime while you're here. I'm on your itinerary. I'm a comedian, I'm an actor, I'm a singer, I'm a historian. I happen to work with some of the finest young entertainers in our state. What we want to do is share with you a bit of our history, a bit of insight into us as people who live here, but especially our sense of humor. Hawaii got the best sense of humor in the world. And if we could share this with you, then you'll leave home having been edified as to what we're all about. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no way we can get along without you. We mistreat you, we mistreat ourselves. The whole thing about this visitors industry is based on the fact that we treat each other like we want to be treated. And if this is the way it's going to be, then you're going to have the most fantastic time possible. And with the right information from Norman Brown, you will make the best decisions possible in the islands. God love you for coming to Hawaii. Have a fantastic new year. May this new year, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to behave in such a way that that child there will grow up to fulfill its greatest potential without having to be sacrificed in the altars of war, of bigotry, of prejudice, and of these kinds of things that shorten our own lives, let alone the lives of our children. We hope to make this kind of contribution to the world, and thank you for coming to our part of the world. God love you.
Here, I mentioned you were 20 minutes away from this island. It's known as the Garden Island by a nickname. If you have a rent-a-car, watch. Everything I'm about to show you, you can see and do on your own. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody remembers the television series called Fantasy Island? Anybody recalls that? Remember when they opened up the series, they showed you giant mountain cliffs, beautiful waterfalls, little island down there? Were you, the plane guy? Were you ever advised that you were looking at the Hawaiian island of Kauai? Anybody ever told you that? Well, for your information, you were. Maybe Raiders of the Lost Ark. Let some young people in here. Seen that? Love Story Thornbirds. New version of King Kong. Elvis Presley's Blue Hawaii. Seen those? Old timers. Motion picture South Pacific. Did you see that? Gentlemen, Bo Derek's 10. Did you see that? Those and hundreds more was filmed on the island of Kauai. You have a car? Everything I'm showing you, you can see and do on your own. This is a place called Opaika'a. It means the rolling shrimp. It's on the island of Kauai. I should tell you this too. Upon arrival, Tattoo will not be there to meet you. This is a place called Waimea. It's on the big island of Hawaii. If you have a vehicle, don't be foolish. Take yourself down to the Kalapana coast. By chance, anybody here ever witnessed those black sand beaches of the Hawaiian Islands before? You have? Well, quite a few of you. You have pictures of that at home, I hope? Yes. Do you know 8 months ago, the entire town of Kalapana was totally destroyed by a mountain lava? No more general store, no more painted church, all the homes on the coastline gone. Those black sand beaches disappeared 8 months ago. 5.5 months ago, Mother Nature did her thing though, and those black sand beaches, they reappeared again. 2 months ago, she covered it up again, man. As I'm speaking with you right now, there is a figure of lava which is pouring into the Pacific Ocean along the Kalapana coast. Last week, I spoke with a couple of tourists that actually went to see this thing. They were glowing. Imagine witnessing such a sight as this. Would it not be witnessing the creation of Mother Earth? That's what it is. Take yourself along the Kalapana coast. Guaranteed it's the hottest spot on the Big Island. There, I briefly talked about the Parker Ranch. I'm sorry, but I failed to tell you. If you have a car, not only can you drive yourself through the Parker Ranch, you can also visit the owner's mansion. Mr. Richard Smart's home. We just opened it up for touring. It's a home made out of total coal. It's like a museum. Hey, you know 89% of all the beef raised on that ranch is not sold here in Hawaii? 89%. Guess where it's sold? Japan? How about California? Huh? Yeah, California. Next time you're home buying some pipi. That's what we call beef here in the island. It's pipi. Turn it over. It might be stamped made in Hawaii. You're from California too, sir? Can you imagine next time selling at a burger joint? Ordering your pipi rare? Here, ladies and gentlemen. This is what everybody's been talking about for the past 8 years. From CNN News to World News, you name them, everybody was down on this place taking pictures. In fact, some of the mainlanders are getting quite bored with this. It's lasting too long. 8 years. As I'm speaking with you at this moment, there is lava pouring out of the earth. You know, you're going to hear a lot about this still while you're here by the local people. It talks mainly about its destruction. After all, you know, it has burst 179 homes into flames. Ladies and gentlemen, black sand beaches, visitor center where the tourists all stood, all gone. I want you to remember something. This is Mother Nature at her best. The Hawaiians call her Madam Pele. She is the volcano goddess. Do you know she has created over 135 acres of brand new land? You know, you people here coming from the continent of America, can you really focus on something like this though? Give you some idea. It means people who have oceanfront property, like me. I am now 135 acres away from the ocean. But I'll tell you, to see a sight like this is to witness something even Adam and Eve did not have a chance to see. Creation of earth. Anybody here want some hot real estate? There's two ways to view this active volcano. One, definitely is by a helicopter. Unfortunately, a chopper flight over this will run you somewhere around $265 per person. If a helicopter ride is all you desire, note this down somewhere. Every island has helicopter rides. Oahu, we got them. Maui's got them. Kauai's got them. They do not fly inter-island. Some people get on a chopper here, think they're going to see the active volcanoes on the Big Island. Negative. The other way to see it is this. A 10-passenger aircraft offered by an organization called Panorama. Before I go any further, I'm going to warn you. We've got some old-timers in here. You need a strong heart. a strong ticker, and a soul that desires full adventure to want this program. These planes, look at the size. They'll swoop you down where the lava is coming out of the earth, where those homes have burned, where the black sand beaches were. It'll actually land you on the big island of Hawaii. You'll have an opportunity to see sites, land untouched by human beings yet, that still exist on these islands. Ladies and gentlemen, do you remember Kaho'olawe, Damien's Peninsula, Kalapapa, and Molokai? You'll see all of that. It'll land you on Maui. It gives you a guided tour up and inside of Iao Valley on the island of Maui. They'll even land you on Kauai. Believe it or not, put you on a riverboat, send you 1.5 miles up the Wailua River on through the Fern Grotto. And on a first-time occasion, you'll have a glimpse of that forbidden island called Ni'ihau. It is a guided tour on the ground and in the air, but that is not why you need a strong heart. Look at this plane. They fly beneath the clouds, skim the mountaintops. I'll share this with you. When you're in a plane of this size and you can literally see birds on trees, trust me, you need a strong heart. I told you I was in travel 14 years. I didn't tell you these past 6 years they've given me a tough job. You see, folks, today, I'm the man that get to take all the tours. All the helicopter rides, all the plane rides, every show you've seen advertised in Waikiki, I get to see them. I even get to eat all the meals. Somebody's got to do it, right? They call this the Cadillac of all our island tours. It's designed for the kind of people who got to see everything, but ain't got the time or the money to spend on any of the islands. If you have never been to a neighbor island before, you prefer a guided tour, read over the itinerary. It's described. Any island is the same price. You know, the holiday season just passed. For those of you here running on a tight budget, I'd like to suggest you pick up on something called a fly and drive package. It is the cheapest way to see a neighbor island. It works like this. You get picked up at your hotel, taken to the airport, put on a jet, flown to the island of your choice. When you get there, Plesant gives you a rent-a-car for the day. You do your own thing. At the end of the day, you just reverse the process. Hotel, transportation, airfare, car, it is all included. Bottom line, it is the cheapest way to see a neighbor island. How much? $105. Pick up the phone, make a flight reservations to a neighbor islands. It'll cost you $64 one way. Round trip, $128. Now, take a cab from Waikiki out to the airport one way, $20. Round trip, $40. Try to rent a vehicle, $27 a day. Ladies and gentlemen, add it up. The fly drive package cannot be matched. You spend a few $100s to come here. You travel thousands of miles away from home. Another $100, even if you do not eat for a week, go see your neighbor island. I mean, you're that close, huh? I know. You'll do it next time you come. Tradition, they're called luau's. You ever get invited to a local luau? Attend. Everybody should have a luau at least once they're in the islands, but I suggest one outside of Waikiki. This is like a mom and pop's operation in an area called Kamakila. This is probably the most authentic luau you'll attend other than being in somebody's private backyard. If you get invited, go. Anybody ever told you most local luau's last a minimum of 3 days? That's nothing. You get invited to a makahiki, you will miss your plane. Makahikis last 4 months long. Hey, them Hawaiians, they knew how to party. Now, ladies, you packed away a special dress in this town right one evening that you're here. This is the place to wear them. I'm talking a candlelight dinner, footsteps from the rolling surf of Waikiki. No country western music, no rock and roll, but the sweetest Hawaiian contemporary music in the world. 10 months ago, New Yorkers, this guy sold out Carnegie Hall. Personally, I think this is Hawaii's best. Hawaiian music at its sweetest, most romantic pace. Ladies and gentlemen, oh, by the way, fellas, this all takes place in the Royal Hawaiian Hotel. The old timers call it the Pink Palace. Formal attire is required, guys. Formal attire in Hawaii, gentlemen, is any aloha shirt and slacks, you're formally dressed. The only time you wear a coat and tie, listen to this, is when they're ready to marry you, all right? Sunset dinner cruises. You honeymoon couples in here, one night that you're here, take this. I'm talking dining outside of a crowded restaurant in Waikiki. This is not a rowboat. She's 110 foot in length with two separate levels. Roam around the ship at leisure. Cocktails, dinner, all included. Sir, it's nothing like being in the ocean 2 miles off the shore. You like the color of our sunsets? You see that gigantic moon we got? It literally changes the colors of the ocean. All we can do is provide the setting. We got to do the rest. But here, how about this in combination? Ladies and gentlemen, this man needs no introduction. Past 28 years, he has dominated the entertainment world. For your information, he's one of the highest paid entertainers on stage today. He shocked the local people, though, quite frankly. He appeared on a new television program called Life Goes On. Here's an Air Force pilot, local boy making good, came from an international singing star. Losing part of his hearing flying these jets for America, he's become someone speech impaired. People mistake this for alcoholic abuse only because they do not know what they're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, past 9 weeks, $1.2 million in the state's prop renovations. Hot stuff. Pleasant offers you this. You go to the boat yourself, buy a sunset dinner cruise, they will charge you $41 per person. You go try to see Dole, no food, just show, $24 per person. Pleasant is offering you both the sunset dinner cruise and the Dole show for $43.50. Work out your pencil. You'll be paying $2.50 to see them, or would you prefer to pay $24 at the door? Ladies and gentlemen, I seriously suggest you read over the combination specials. And by chance, if you have a friend or relatives that make their home here in the islands, please offer them these evening engagements out, because it is not offered to the local people here. Here, sunset dinner cruise, Don Ho, or would you prefer to see this man? Sunset dinner cruise, John Van Brona. That's his name. He came from the show called The Legends in Vegas. He appeared on PM Magazine and Time Magazine. This is nostalgia at its best. They charge $19.50 at the door. We offer him for approximately $2 in our dinner combination package, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, you're seeing the same show as everybody else. You're just dining somewhere else. Here. How many of you here like magic? You, sir? You too? By chance, anybody seen David Copperfield? You did? That's how you gotta like magic. I seen him live in Los Angeles, and I'll tell you, buddy, you watch any production like that, you know it is a technician staff that made this happen, right? I mean, come on, the guy who moves elephants on stage. The entire technician staff of Mr. Copperfield came here almost 7 months ago to create for one of his understudies a magic production here in the Pacific. Like Copperfield, John does levitation. He explodes in front of your eyes and a few seconds later appear behind you. But I've seen this guy turn a woman into a horse. You gentlemen having problems? His dinner and show sells for about $45 per person. Please, read over the combination. You know who this lady is? Charo, Miss Coochie Coochie herself. She now makes her home in these islands. In fact, she has a restaurant on the island of Kauai. Ladies and gentlemen, her dinner and show sells for about $50. Her show alone, $26, $27, $28. Pleasant offers you both the Magic of Polynesia and Charo. You're paying something like $8 or $9 to see them, maybe. Read over the combination. You should not be eating at Burger King and McDonald's every night that you're here. Here, the man you met for yourself here live on stage, he didn't tell you, but he's definitely a school teacher. Did you know that? Yeah. A Stanford graduate. Came home with school teacher, one of our more prominent private schools here called Punahou, to teach the Polynesian kids not only about their heritage, but what's available out there in this world. I tell you, today he's a pride of the Polynesian people. As he said, he sings his dance, and his program is glazed with a lot of local humor. He features and includes in his package a fabulous buffet meal. But please, look at Pleasant's combination. Not only will you have an opportunity to see Al Harrington, but in that same evening, you'll be escorted over to the Outward Domain showroom to see these guys. They're called the SOS, the Society of Seven. Anybody ever see them before? Ever here? Oh, you have quite a few of you. How'd you like the show, by the way? How'd you like the show back there? I'll tell you what, these guys will get you moving in your seats. Stop breathing. You're wasting precious air. Ladies and gentlemen, they charge $25 at the door in Waikiki. We offer them for approximately $10 in a combination special. 15, 25, it's a savings of $15 per person. Read over the combinations. You people here going to the neighbor islands, if you're pressed for time, you can't spend an entire day at the Culture Center, but you wanted to see all the dances of Polynesia, I suggest 5 minutes from your hotel, check out the Sheraton Polynesian Review. It was known as Tihati's. They're also featuring a Filipino star. His name, Martin Navarra. You've seen him on Johnny Carson. He was there many a times. He is now at the Sheraton. Read over the combinations for the dollar saving specials. On Kauai, the helicopter ride that features Mount Waialeale, the wettest spot on earth, for those of you going to be there on that island. And how many of you are actually going to be on Kauai for a couple of days? 2, 3, okay, 4. You feel strong and healthy, sir? Do you? Okay. I told you my job allows me to do some crazy things, to include climbing mountains and jumping out of planes, okay, even hang gliding. A few weeks ago, I took this, the rubber raft rides along the Napali coast of Kauai, and the only reason is that's the only form of transportation that would get me to the Napali coast 22-mile untouched land, Aina. There's cliffs on both sides, making it impossible for hikers to get into this area. Helicopters for the past 11 years have been forbidden to land. The only way in is by rubber rafts. Sir, at the edge of Napali coast, there's fresh waterfalls that pour into the Pacific. These rafts will take you under these fresh waterfalls into sea caves, places like the Queen's Bath. But you gotta be strong. The next day I felt like I needed a chiropractor. But you know the guy that was with us, the couple, 64 years old, this man was hotter than hooted through the entire day. I'll tell you what, Napali Coast, it's called Hanalei Sea Tours. Check this, I told you cliffs on both sides. Isn't this an incredible sight? They'll take you to an old Hawaiian fishing village, you know. I mean, they didn't even try to reproduce it, just left it like how it was. Water holes, king's terraces, incredible sight. Sea caves, how about this? It's the Queen's Bath. Neato, huh? It's on the island of Kauai, ladies and gentlemen. You ever watched that? You watched that movie Popeye, where he rescued the giant squid? It took place right in here. Hollywood was there too. Incredible. Island of Maui. Use your car. There's only one road on that island. Everybody says nobody should drive. Anybody know the name of that road? What is it, sir? You got it, buddy. Is that, you ever drove that road to Honda, sir? You did it? Somebody told you about it? Oh, yeah? Anybody ever drove that road to Honda before? You did, sir? You drove that road yourself? Did you have more hair before you drove that road, sir? Tell me this, buddy. Tell me this. See, I believe there is nobody who have ever driven the road to Honda, sir, who can actually say they've seen the sights. Reason? You needed 3 eyes just to watch the road. The road is shaped like a slippery snake. Hey, you California people are familiar with Highway 1 on the California coastline? You holding tickets, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, if you're going to need another ticket, talk to your local reps. Oh, better than that. While you're there, tell them you're with Plesant. They'll just give you a discounted ticket for the second person you might want in there. All right. We have some door prizes, ladies and gentlemen. Wait a minute, Norman. I know you purchased a dinner and pay a couple of dollars to see an entertainment show. There's a form in there with a pink back to it. It is entitled Optional Events Reservations Form. It's nearly all self-explanatory. If you look down towards the bottom of the sheet, compliments of the Candy Square. A hand for the lady, please. For those of you at the museums, we have one available. It's called the Maritime Museum. It's along the coastline. You just opened up this place. Check it out. Brand new place. If you remember taking pictures getting off the plane yesterday, you want to see what damage that long flight out there did to you, your arrival photos will be displayed towards the back of the room. They make great souvenirs. But especially during this time of year, I think this idea is a must. Making postcards out of these things. Yeah, can you imagine it sending to a friend who's snowed in someplace? Aloha from Hawaii. Good effect. Good effect. Now, for those of you here in collecting, what is this, videotapes of different places you've been in the past, you can also make your own video presentation where you sit in the back of the car and there's scenery passing you. Talk to your local reps about it. In fact, watch the film and I'm done. They will also have stuff like that about our videotape presentation. The Dole company actually wanted to give the gift to every single one of our clients, which is supposed to be a free pineapple. Until their manager figured out we hosted nearly 1,000 people a day, they could change their minds. The centerpiece you have on your table, that pine is ready to be eaten. We want one of you to please take that back in the city and enjoy it. And how you're going to get it is if you lift up your plates, you're going to find under one of your plates a plastic bag. If you have that plastic bag, the pineapple on the table is yours to do as you desire. If you have that plastic bag, could you please let the people on your table know you found it so they stop looking for it? You got it? Okay, wait a minute. You ever been to those weddings where you got to pass the gift 2 seats to the right? You do not have to do that here this morning. Did you check that empty table? That empty plate there?
He had it.
He had it? Hey, this is America. You snooze, you lose. Ladies and gentlemen, there's only 2 things I said you had to do while you were here. 2. Anybody remember what those 2 things were?
Smile.
Smile. Slow down. Actually, ma'am, I forgot to tell you the second one. You see, you need to reconfirm your flight departure 24 hours before you leave. If you have something in your hands, could you please put it down?
Which began with Jim Dole.
Well, now, somehow I got the notion that life in Hawaii was just one long long, sweet song. A languorous life of ease and plenty.
It was 1899, and Jim Dole, only 22 and fresh from Harvard, arrived in Hawaii with an idea of growing something. The 20th century was to begin on a wave of bright ideas, of inventiveness.
But one fruit, rising in the center in the spring.
Jim Dole had settled on the idea of making the fruit of kings a fruit for everyone.
Gentlemen, I propose to extend the market for Hawaiian pineapples into every grocery store in the United States.